It's early morning in Barcelona. The soft light of dawn filters through the window of a small apartment near Placa de Catalunya. The alarm rings gently on the bed. Sarah, a young woman in her 20s, slowly opens her eyes. She stretches her arms, feeling the cool morning air on her skin. She listens to the distant sound of the city waking up, the rumble of a tram, the faint chatter from a cafe downstairs, the smell of fresh bread drifting in from the bakery on the corner. Sarah knows this moment well. It's the crossroads. She can follow the same routine as yesterday. Reach for her phone, scroll through messages, get lost in other people's problems, and begin the day already tired. Or she can choose something different. Point one small action, an action so simple, yet so powerful that it could change not only her day, but her life. And that's the secret of this story, that if you do this every morning, your life will never be the same. Morning is not just a time of day. It is a foundation. Think of a house. If the foundation is strong, the house stands tall, safe, and firm. But if the foundation is weak, the house leans, cracks, and eventually collapses. Sarah has lived both kinds of mornings. She remembers days when she rushed out of bed, skipped breakfast, ran to catch the bus, and spent the whole day scattered and stressed. Nothing seemed to go right. But she also remembers the mornings when she woke with clarity, when she took even a few quiet moments for herself. On those days, everything flowed. Conversations were easier, decisions clearer, and her energy stronger. This is why great athletes, business leaders, and artists protect their mornings. They know that the way you begin shapes the way you live. For Sarah, mornings are no longer something to survive. They are something to design. Because when you win the morning, you win the day. The first thing Sarah does each morning is simple. She does not touch her phone. Why? Because she has learned that her mind in the morning is like a clear glass of water. Still pure calm. But the moment she opens her phone, messages, emails, and news pour in like drops of ink. The water clouds instantly. Her clarity is gone. So instead, Sarah sits by her window. She closes her eyes. She breathes deeply. She listens. She notices the gentle light across the rooftops of Barcelona, the cool air brushing her face, the city slowly coming alive. 5 minutes of silence. That is all. But those 5 minutes become her anchor. In this quiet space, she prepares her mind before the world demands her attention. It is in silence that she finds her strength. Sarah stands and stretches. She lifts her arms to the ceiling, rolls her shoulders, and takes slow, deliberate breaths. Then she walks barefoot across the wooden floor, feeling the ground under her feet. Sometimes she does a few push-ups, sometimes yoga, sometimes just a walk around the block, breathing in the cool air of the Ramblas before the tourists arrive. Movement tells her body, I am awake. I am strong. I am ready. She doesn't need a gym. She doesn't need an hour. Even 10 minutes is enough. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Her body is awake. Now it is time to awaken her mind. Sarah makes a cup of tea, sits at her small wooden table, and opens a book. Not just any book, one that inspires her, teaches her, or fills her with new ideas. She reads slowly, letting the words sink in. Sometimes she underlines a sentence. Sometimes she pauses and reflects. Because what you feed your mind in the morning stays with you all day. She could have chosen gossip, endless scrolling, or the negativity of the news. But instead, she chooses learning, growth, and inspiration. Her mind becomes like fertile soil. What she plants in the morning grows throughout the day. Most people wake up and get lost in dozens of tasks. A long to-do list, constant distractions, endless noise. Sarah does something different. She asks herself one simple question: what is the one thing I want to accomplish today? She writes it down in her notebook. One clear goal, one focus. She knows that her mind is like sunlight. Spread out, it warms. But focused, it burns. Her intention is the magnifying glass. It gives her clarity. It gives her purpose. Before she opens her laptop, before she answers emails, before she faces the demands of the day, Sarah pauses. She places her hand on her heart and thinks of three things she is grateful for: her health, her family back home, the chance to live another day in this beautiful city. Gratitude changes everything. That it softens the edges of stress. It turns fear into trust. It shifts her mind from what is missing to what is present. And with that shift, her energy becomes lighter, stronger, unstoppable. Sarah stands in front of her mirror. She looks at her own reflection and speaks words she used to only whisper. I am ready. I am capable. I will face this day with courage. At first, it felt strange. Pretend. Forced. But slowly, her mind began to believe the words. Because words are powerful. Weak words create weak days. Strong words create strong lives. And so, every morning, Sarah chooses to speak like a winner. When Sarah first tried to change her mornings, she felt overwhelmed. Too many habits, too many rules. But she learned a truth. She didn't need everything at once. She only needed one small action: silence, or movement, or gratitude. One drop of water may seem small, but drop by drop, water shapes stone. So she started small, and she stayed consistent. Day after day, her mornings grew stronger, and her life began to change. Now, Sarah no longer gives away her mornings. She doesn't begin the day reacting to other people's demands. She doesn't let her phone steal her energy. She takes the first hour for herself, to center, to focus, to charge, because she knows you cannot pour from an empty cup. Protecting her energy is not selfish. It is wise. That it makes her stronger, calmer, and more present for herself and for everyone around her. Every morning, Sarah closes her eyes for a moment. She sees herself as her best self, calm, focused, confident, walking through the streets of Barcelona with purpose, handling challenges with clarity, meeting goals with determination. This is not fantasy. It is training. Her brain begins to believe the vision, and slowly, her actions align with it. And so, Sarah's mornings are no longer ordinary. Each sunrise brings silence, movement, gratitude, focus, and vision. Each morning is a chance to begin again, stronger, clearer, and more alive, step by step, habit by habit. Her mornings are transforming her life, because when you win the morning, you truly win the day.